All right, you're watching Superskum.com. I'm here with Joachim and Toby of SABATON. So about a year ago, SABATON went through a lineup change.
Yep.
You know, how have the new guys affected the sound of SABATON, if at all, and how are they fitting in?
Well, I don't think they changed the sound. If they did anything, it's make things sharper and better. You know, kept me and Per especially on our toes, because it is a leveling up. For sure. I mean, not to say anything negative about the old boys, but we were all, friends. We basically taught each other how to play as we got along. And at the point when it got too much, all the touring and everything, and we were looking for new boys, we could, we're an established band. We could choose, the guys we wanted, the really good ones. So I say the only change has been to the better.
Now, you guys have recorded such songs as Metal Crew and Metal Ripper that pay tribute to legendary metal acts such as Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Gamma Ray. What is the process of writing songs like that, and I guess what goes into those songs?
That's very easy. It's just a shitload of beer and fun, I mean, they're not technically the most advanced songs we got, and just make sure you're in a studio that has a lot of metal magazines you can go through. Oh yeah, that fits with the amount of syllables I need, and then you go wild. So I'm afraid there's no magic into that at all, except beer and fun.
Yeah, party songs. That's what they are.
Hey, but you guys do play them live, which is nice.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're usually a nice way to end the concert. I mean, we've been singing about death and war and, boring stuff. Yeah, exactly. And, then we end on a lighter note.
Which the death and war actually, I guess, is a segue into the next question. You guys are well known for writing songs about war and warfare. Sometimes from a first person's perspective, sometimes from like a observation perspective. What led you guys to write about that?
Well, it's an accident, like everything else with SABATON. Actually, we just started out and thought, we had the song Panzer Battalion, which was already about war. We had me and Per were sitting down thinking about the lyrics for the song that became Prima Victoria. I had already written the music, and at that point, we said, it's got a big epic sound, so we need a big subject for this. We decided D-Day, and all of a sudden it was more fun, more engaging to write the lyrics instead of, random subjects. So we decided, for the album, hey, let's make an album about war. And that became Prima Victoria. And, I mean, in a sense, there are so many fantastic stories in history that are being forgotten. So why make up new stuff? And to be honest, there are enough bands singing about killing dragons, drinking beer, and fucking women.
That is very true. Fist for Fight has songs about Thor, The Lord of the Rings, as well as Burn Your Crosses.
Yes.
A song that takes a very strong view against religion. How did these songs, namely Burn Your Crosses, come about?
No, it's not. It's the same thing. It's a story we're telling, just like when we're doing war stuff. A man has been, as the lyrics explain, a man has, innocently been sentenced to death, and he's questioning his faith in God. And he decides that, he should rather burn his crosses. And, I mean, back in those days, it was always a struggle, finding, the subject. Where do we want this song to go? I mean, not all of it turned out bad, but I'd say usually I'd think that about 50% of the Metalizer stuff doesn't hold up to today's standards, I think.
In the past, SABATON has asked fans for ideas for songs.
Yes.
And has made it very clear that they did not want songs about Vikings, because there were bands that wrote songs better. I guess, how have the fans' ideas helped influence the band, and how did the song Swedish Pagans come about?
Well, to be honest, when we did the Swedish Empire tour, I mean, we had fans asking us about this, but it wasn't, a common question at all. It's just something we had in our minds. But let's go to, for example, Coat of Arms. I'd say 50% or maybe even more of that album is inspired by ideas that we got from fans. So if you're watching this, keep sending them in if you got any fantastic stories. We love to hear them, because in some countries what's obvious knowledge that everybody knows might be totally unknown to Swedish guys like us.
Mm-hmm. Can you give some examples of what off Coat of Arms the fans directed you towards?
Let's say White Death, Sniper Simo Heje. I mean, I haven't even heard his name, and it's neighboring countries, Sweden and Finland, and fantastic stories. Let's say uprising. We knew about the Polish uprising, of course, but not the details. And we were invited to the museum, and we saw that. So I'd say, some of it is from, the museum directors themselves. Some of it is from, fans who basically sent us an email. And regarding Swedish pagans that you asked about, once again, I wrote a song, and basically most of the guys in the band didn't like it. So it wasn't planned for Sabaton at all. And I recorded it, yes, with an acoustic guitar, and, made some fun lyrics,
Mm-hmm.
and just because I liked the song. And then they said, I think it was for the Coat of Arms album, or Art of War. I had that, and they all said, no, it's too easy, woo, and that melodies and stuff. I said, okay, cool. If you don't like it, we don't record it. So I recorded it for myself, and then half a year or a year later, when I had actually recorded some of it, they said, oh man, why didn't we put that on an album? That's a great song. Well, fuck you then, So I decided, if you want it, I'll put it on somewhere, but it's gonna be this version. And that is.
And then it came out on
Art of War,
the Rearmed.
Yeah, the Rearmed version.
Yeah. You worked with Peter Tactron on this album. He produced it as well as sang on a song. But what was it like working with Peter?
Well, we've been working with him, for ages it seems, but he never made a complete album. We've recorded drums with him, and then we went to other guys for mixing or recording, and then sometimes he's only been mixing what we recorded elsewhere. So we all, he said, why don't you make an album with me? And we're like, well, we always been making albums with you. And he said, no, we had never recorded, from the first notes, and let me handle everything. And we said, yeah, that's true. And we decided, he lives 45 minutes away. In my eyes, he's one of the world's best metal producers. And he's a good friend since many years back, so we decided to go for it, actually.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you on him being one of the best metal producers. It seems most anything that he touches ends up just being an amazing release.
Yep.
Which includes Careless Rex.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. 2008's Art of War, a special edition came out that included Sun Tzu's book, The Art of War.
Yes.
Was this the band's idea, or how did it come about?
That was my idea, actually, because I read the book, and I thought, damn, this could be applied to modern warfare as well. So we decided to, apply modern warfare stories, on each, track on the album corresponding to the chapter in the book. And seeing as this book was written 2,500 years ago, there's ain't gonna be much copyright issues, are there?
No, there's not.
So if Sun Tzu wants to sue us, if Sun Tzu wants to sue us, he's more than welcome to do it. No, but it's public domain, and we thought it was a nice touch to it also to actually have the explanation and people could see how it corresponds to each song in the album.
Yeah, I have that edition, and I actually do. I think it's one of the more unique and definitely one of the coolest box sets I own.
I think there's only 3,000 of that made ever, or maybe 1,000 even. Very limited.
During your tour for The Art of War, you played at the battlefield of Wisna in Poland, the setting for the battle in 40-1, on the 70th anniversary of the battle.
Yes.
What was that experience like?
It's still one of my biggest concert memories. There was 8,000 to 10,000 Polish people there. We got honorary citizenships on that night, and they had a, we call it war reenactment going on, with actual Mark IV Panzerkampfwagens coming, and so they basically reenacted the battle during the afternoon. We had people from the president's cabinet there, the Swedish ambassador was there, so during the show they came on stage right before we played 40-1 and gave us, honorary Polish citizenships of that county. And when we actually started the song 40-1, it was after midnight, so it was the exact anniversary of the battle at that time, and at that point everything went ballistic. The security fences started to break. We had 60 people from the Polish army, soldiers, standing, trying to force the crowd, to stop them. And I've never seen such a, reaction before. Polish flags in the air, people going absolutely insane. That was a thing to remember, trust me.
Poland seems to be a pretty special place for you guys because you returned there for the Uprising video. And you got the assistance of the Wisna 1939 Association, as well as General Waldemar Strypniak of the Polish Army to help in the video. Can you describe that experience as well?
Yeah, I mean, it was as usual an accident. We had an idea we wanted to make a video. The director was Jacek Raginis, and he's actually the, what do you call it? The captain we sing about in 40-1.
He's like the great
grandson of the captain's sister.
So it's like his uncle, like great uncle.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And we decided to do that, and we got the actor Peter Stormare in. He's been doing some Prison Break and Armageddon as well, right?
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's true. And he's Swedish and grew up not too far from where we're from, so we just thought we'd take a chance. And his manager said basically that, no, I'm gonna forward it to him, but he gets requests about music videos all the time, so don't get your hopes up. And then we get a mail back that says he wants to do it, and because most people want to go to Las Vegas or Los Angeles and have him as the bad guy and do crazy shit. But he said, no, you had a plan from day one. You wanted me in a certain role as Erich von den Bach, the Nazi officer, and you wanted to bring me to Poland. It was not at all about any hanging out, drinking, or crazy shit. So he decided to join us, and at that point we got the director Jacek Raginis got some actual Polish big names in there as well in the video. And then this NATO general from Poland heard about this and said, hey, I want to be in this too. It was actually his request to get into the video and be a part of it. So he actually plays the part of the resistance leader. And he flew home from Afghanistan to be in the video.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah.
70th anniversary of Battles seems to be another running theme for Sabaton. Is there still a plan in the works for you guys to play on the 70th anniversary of the Normandy landing?
Oh, that's my dream. 6th of June, 2014, to do a show in Normandy Beach, Omaha Beach most preferably, But if that's not possible, I guess we'll have to wait until the 6th of June, 24,
You guys have released 2 albums on Nuclear Blast,
Yes.
2010's, well, I should say 2 studio albums.
Yeah, there's one live in
Yes,
as well.
yes.
I know what you mean.
Yes, 2010's Coat of Arms and 2012's Careless Rex. How's your time with Nuclear Blast been?
Oh, I can't complain at all, actually. I mean, a lot of people are worried, when you go to a big label like Nuclear Blast, are you still going to have, freedom and do what you want to do? And actually, of the 3 labels we've had so far, and the other ones we've been, negotiating with, out of all of them, Nuclear Blast has been the ones that have given us most freedom, They don't want any demos of the next upcoming album. They don't want to tell us you should do this, you should sing about that, you shouldn't do that. Oh yeah, I mean, seeing as they're Germans, they don't want any swastikas in the music videos, obviously, and understandable. But other than that, they just say, are you going to make a reggae album? No, it's going to be metal. Okay, go record it.
So then I guess there was no tension with the inclusion of The Final Solution.
No, well, they're Germans, so they're always a bit afraid of these things. But I mean, as normal, we just send them the lyrics, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
And that's what I've noticed. I've had friends that are like, they hear the title of the song and they kind of get uptight because it's like, "Oh no, it's The Final Solution." It negative overtones, but as soon as they listen to it and hear the lyrics, they go, "Oh, okay." They're just they're retelling a story. They're not necessarily taking sides.
That's
they're just
the fucked
relating.
up thing, isn't it? As soon as it's music, it gets political. A political charge instantly. Steven Spielberg makes movies about the Holocaust, chose Nazis in uniforms, doing Hitler greetings, everything. Nobody's asking, "Are you a Nazi? Do you have Nazi sympathies?" Because he is telling a story. But for some reason, music seems to be connected to politics, which I think is bullshit.
And I guess sometimes people don't listen to the lyrics. I mean, they just hear Nazi and they hear stuff like The Final Solution. And automatically think that that was something.
And
bad.
and they see, a lot of the, I guess, pagan Viking metal bands get a lot of trouble because they use Viking runes, which unfortunately the white supremacist groups have co-opted to make their own, which is
which is kind of fucked up that they do it over here in America. Why would you do that? That's if they have a Viking heritage, it's probably so watered out and so far back in history. Leave our runes alone.
Trust me, it's one of the focuses I looked on in school, and I don't get it. I think I get angry about it, and it's like the ignorance of trying to use that for intimidation and stuff
especially
like that.
I don't know how they are connected.
No, I mean, how can they be?
Vikings are
They were around like
1,000 years
before.
and they were not at all, and it didn't have anything against other cultures or other races, because they were very well known to take wives from basically anywhere they would go.
And a phrase I learned at school is that they came to trade, but were always prepared to raid. They're
Actually, it started out the other way.
Yeah.
But in the end, we tried to make it look nicer. It started out like assholes, pillaging, raping, and stealing shit, and then they realized, that costs a lot of men and blood. Maybe we should start trading instead. And I mean, for the past 100 years of that era, they were going more and more into trade, and there are still Viking villages in a place like Russia where the old people still speak a strange version of Swedish, since the Viking times.
Well, and Kiev is a Viking city. It was founded.
Yeah.
And then and then there's
Newcastle.
There you go.
In England. It's called Nyborg, Norwegian Viking settlement in the beginning.
There's Newfoundland up in Canada. I mean, the Vikings left because the Skraelings were too aggressive for them.
Yeah.
There you go. I think we're getting way off topic here, but it's always fun. This summer, you're going to be supporting Iron Maiden.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to on that tour?
Oh, well, I don't know. Playing a bit of heavy metal for the Europeans.
Yeah. That's what we do. Yeah.
I mean, we played with Maiden in, was it 2011? We had one show in Sweden. Now we got 2 in Sweden, 2 in Germany, 2 in Russia, 1 in Finland. And I think those are the ones we're doing. Yeah. And there's actually only 1 in Sweden. 2 Germany, 1 in Finland, 2 in Russia, yeah. So it's going to be fun. I mean, last time we did it, the crew of Maiden were quite nice and generous to us. I mean, as long as, we don't want to fuck up their schedule. We always make sure we enter the stage on time. We don't go over time because it's their gig. We behave, you be polite, and then you won't have any problems.
And I noticed that both with your support the previous time with Maiden and with Judas Priest, you put out unique Sabaton shirts.
Yes.
Can the fans look forward to something like that again with this tour?
I think so. The plan is we always want to make unique show shirts. I mean, we do it in Europe as well for a unique show for a show shirt. But obviously here in the US we're a bit behind. We're basically on the same level where we were in 2006-07 in Europe. Since we're playing much smaller crowds, so it wouldn't be possible for us to make show exclusive shirts because we can't by any means know how many we are gonna sell or how many people are gonna be there. And I mean, it's possible if we play a venue in Warsaw. There's going to be 3,500 people there, and we can do 250, special shirts, which you basically need to be able to do it. And if we play a decent night in America, there's going to be 250 or 350 people. That means we got more T-shirts than people.
Yeah. I think, at least from a fan perspective, that's one of the things I really appreciate about you guys in Sabaton is that you have a real connection to your fans and, in a lot of ways looking out for them.
Well, it's not only about, I mean, yes, I grew up thinking, and being raised that you should be nice, but also it's more fun for us. I mean, we see each other all the time in the tour bus, and I mean, it's not that we're getting tired of each other, but it's kind of nice to talk to someone else, from time to time and meet new people. Yeah.
Lots of bands, even heavy metal bands, have entrance music onto the stage. Sabaton not only has entrance music, they come on to the entire final countdown song from Europe?
Almost.
Almost?
It's an edited
Almost.
version. There is no second verse there, but people don't realize it because we're really good at editing in Pro Tools. No, but we just removed the second verse and stuff like that, so it goes basically from the first chorus to the guitar solo. So the second verse, pre-chorus, and chorus is removed. But we have checked it with Europe, and they have approved.
Now the song seems to set a very tongue-in-cheek atmosphere for a Sabaton show.
Yep.
Was that the plan with the song?
Actually,
from
the plan was when we started with this, being starting out, you do a lot of support shows, and we still do, and people are in a big venue somewhere in Europe. Let's say we were played with Therian and Gravedigger supporting them in 2007, or Hammerfall in 2009, and people are out taking a smoke between the bands, maybe at the bar instead of in the hall. So when they hear the final countdown and the volume raised, that would give them time to actually go into the hall and see, what's happening, and the message is sent. This is the final countdown before the show. And we noticed it raised the mood into a kind of a happy atmosphere, So we decided to stick with it.
Going back in time here a little bit, 2000's Metalizer, which I guess was supposed to be the second album, but
it was supposed to be the first
the
one,
first
actually.
album.
Yeah, but Fist for Fight was actually the
demo.
demos that was released. Yeah, you should talk to the Italian label and kill them if you get a hold of them, by the way.
The album includes the song 7734.
Yes.
How did this song come about, and what is the meaning behind the title?
There is a secret meaning.
I mean, I have an idea, but I don't want to... I'm not going to speak for you on it.
No. It's probably what you think. There's a lot of hidden messages in it, for fun. And that's R2D2 getting shot, by the way. No, but just try typing it on an old school calculator and turn it upside down.
Yeah, alphanumeric.
And there's a lot of mathematical jokes in there. And I mean, it was. Let's just say there were alcohol involved when writing those lyrics.
No, because there's definitely some words that are inserted backwards and sung backwards. Yeah. Careless Rex, depending on the version that you bought or you were able to get, had one or more cover songs.
Yes.
Including a cover song of your fellow countryman, Amon Amarth's Twilight of the Thunder God.
Yes.
What led you to cover this song?
Actually, it's a good song. And I don't think a cover has to be something really shitty and old you dig up. Back in the 60s and 70s, they'd be, the same song could be in the charts at the same time, but with different artists. Everybody some of them might sound similar, some of them might sound, totally different. We like the song really bad, and we decided that, it's really good as it is, so we shouldn't really, we can't really jazz that one, You gotta make it hard and fast as it is. So we just decided to do it in our own way, add a little bit of keyboards, but also write some melody lines to the lyrics, And it worked out quite cool, actually.
Now, is there any plans to maybe sing a duet with him on him, with Johan on it or anything?
We have been drinking and talking about it, but nothing has been said. But if the opportunity arises and they ask me, I'll do it easily.
Van Canto,
yes,
of all bands, covered Primo Victoria.
Yep.
And now you, I guess, sing almost as a hologram in the video for it.
Yep.
How did this come about?
The wonders of green screen.
Well, not the hologram, obviously.
How it came about?
But them approaching you to cover.
When we did our festival, Rockstad Fallen, we have our own festival in our own hometown. As well as a cruise, yes. We have a lot of stuff because we like to do stuff on our own. Strangely enough, We thought that our hometown should have a nice heavy metal festival because there aren't any close. And we thought there should be a ship that plays a lot of Sabaton music between Sweden and Finland and a cruise. But actually, when we were traveling between, I think it was, some festivals, we came up with the idea because we're going to have a celebration for our own festival, make a special show. So we had Udo Dirkschneider, he did Into the Fire with us. We had Chris Boltenthal from Gravedigger, he did The Art of War. And for fun, we had Fred from Dragon Force, the bass player. He played guitar with us on one tour when Richard was at home having a child. He played some guitar with us, and then we thought, hey, Van Canto is booked at the festival, maybe we should do something cool with them. So before we played Primo Victoria, the stage went black, and people, just waited, okay, what happened now? And then we heard, Through the Gates of Hell, and when, the lights go up, it's not us. It's only Van Canto on stage, and they performed the whole Primo Victoria. And then we came on and, continued the show. That's a fun thing. And then, they asked, okay, can we record it on our next album and have you as a guest?
Well, can the fans look forward to seeing the Van Canto performance on your live DVD?
No, that one won't be there because we don't have that recorded, actually.
Getting back to Careless Rex, it was released in a digipack with both English and Swedish, as well as jewel cases that were just English or Swedish. How was the decision made to record the album entirely in Swedish, and then how was the decision made to release it in the multiple formats?
Well, obviously the multiple formats is, different people are going to want different things. The Swedish-only version is, for obvious reasons, only available in Sweden. Yeah. You could get it, through import if you want it somewhere else, but the plan was, we talked about the Swedish Empire. I was doing pre-production. These words came into my head, and they were in Swedish for the "Long Live the King" song, and they were in Swedish. And I, had everything else in the pre-production was in English, but that chorus was in English. No, sorry, Swedish. And I played it to some of the boys, and they said, "Hey, it's cool that it's in Swedish. Maybe we should do the whole song in Swedish." Then we decided, no, we should make the whole album in Swedish. And it's like an accident, like everything we do. It's just something that pops into our minds, and hey, that sounds fun, let's do it.
All right, so what does the future hold for Sabaton?
Lots of shows. I think we've done 120 or 130 shows on the tour so far.
Yeah, closer to 130, I think.
And we got probably almost 100 left before this tour is over.
Yeah.
Writing, back to the studio?
Yeah, I decided that for the first time in my whole life I'm going to have a vacation, which is going to last for about 2 weeks, 2.5. That'll be my longest time off since 2006 or 7, I think.
Well, much deserved, I think, too.
Yeah, I could use some couple of days off. But I mean, I know myself, if I don't have anything to do for a very long time, I'll be climbing the walls, out of just pure restlessness. So we'll be having an album out in 2014 for sure.
This is your time. Is there any messages you want to send to the fans or anything you want to say?
Actually, I'm totally useless because this question pops up in about 50% of the interviews we do, and I still haven't got a good answer to it. Yeah, because everything you say will be forced. Come to the show, rock out with us. Yeah, it's all bullshit. Yeah. I mean, so all I can say is hope you'll enjoy the shows you've seen with us, have a good time with us, and hopefully we can make an album that you will enjoy even more, the next one.
And how about this for a last one then? How do you guys define success with Sabaton?
Success. Having a good time.
Having a good time. Actually, it's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, that's success. If you don't have a good time, it's not successful.
Doesn't matter what numbers in money or people. If you're not having, fun, you don't have a success. Yeah. Good times.
All right. I would like to thank Toby and Joachim from Sabaton for putting up with my line of questioning. You've been watching Superskum.com.